Welcome to Adventure, an e-commerce podcast that isn't just about numbers and profits. It's about the visionaries who've carved their path, navigated challenges, and left an indelible mark on the e-commerce landscape. So get ready to be inspired, informed, and immersed in the world where innovation meets commerce. Joining us today is David Katz. David is the co-founder of Archer Affiliates, a cutting-edge affiliate marketing network for Amazon sellers, facilitating partnerships with publishers and influencers to boost traffic and sales through Amazon attribution links. He's passionate about connecting sellers and affiliates and brings a deep understanding of the Amazon ecosystem and online consumer behavior. Also joining in on the conversation will be Joseph Phillips, account manager with BidX. Joe has a passion for all things e-commerce, and at BidX, he handles ad strategy for enterprise clients in the US. So welcome, David and Joe. David, we have never chatted before, so I'm super excited about this talk. I would love for you to just quickly kind of walk me through your journey, how you entered the e-commerce landscape. What do you feel that you brought to the table innately, and what did you sort of like learn along the way?
Oh, for sure. I mean, to answer your question directly, the last question, what I learned along the way is absolutely everything. So it's all about the journey, and it's been fun. But I guess to zoom out, I got started in e-com and specifically Amazon really when I was first in high school, just kind of reselling and hustling and all of that in the early Amazon days. Transitioned to work at an agency, never went to college right out of high school, and then have been working with brands specifically in the beauty space for a long while. Ever since. About a year or two ago, one of the beauty brands I was working with, they're a mass market brand with pretty good reach in a lot of retail and whatnot, and super popular brand, consistently had been driving a whole lot of just organic traffic from off Amazon, specifically media publishers, influencers. It was a really cool product, an innovative product, and generated a lot of hype, for lack of a better term. And there was tons of this traffic just coming to my Amazon listing. And as a brand and a seller, we were investing a lot of money into paid search on Amazon, building really nice listings, sponsored brands, all that good stuff. And we were like, this is great, but where's it coming from? And how do we get more of it? How do we really focus our time, effort, and money to generating more of this? And pretty quickly recognized that there was no such platform or no such way to do so. There's a massive amount of Amazon traffic in general coming from influencers, media publishers, really any type of affiliate. And from a seller's perspective, it was these people were working directly with Amazon. There was never a way to encourage them to promote my product specifically and not other Amazon products, and really incentivize them, build relationships with them, let them know more about my brand, even basic things, just like giving them promo codes or anything like that. So that's really where the idea and concept of Archer came from, really bridging the gap between the world of Amazon sellers and the world of what we call affiliate marketers, which is everyone from media publishers, influencers, product comparison sites. We've kind of grown into including some deal sites, shopping tech. Anyone who has an audience that looks to them for what to buy on Amazon, we connect them with our network of Amazon sellers, essentially.
So, I have this whole list of questions, but I feel like just everything that you've just shared, I just changed the whole course of what I'm going to ask you, because I really just want to have this conversation with you. Influencers are so kind of like ubiquitous now, but it doesn't sound like that was the case when you started. And I think for a lot of sellers, still, it's like unfamiliar territory, even though we see them every time we get on any sort of social site. We see that. So what do you think is like the top blocker for a seller to utilize or get connected with an influencer or an affiliate?
Really good question. I'll try to, and there's a lot of directions that we can go, but I'll try to break it down pretty simply. I think where I see the most misunderstandings with sellers that try to dabble specifically in the influencer space, because even the affiliate space is spread into a few different verticals, influencer obviously being one of them. And specifically in the influencer space, I think it's very important for a seller that's jumping in, or even an established brand that's jumping in, to really know what they want. I've seen really two needs for a brand. Number one is content, and number two would be more directly related to revenue and even brand awareness and driving actual meaningful action from a consumer. And those plays are completely different. What a brand that needs content should go in one direction, and a brand that really needs sales and wants to generate that brand awareness and get customer action, probably more aligned with the brands that we're working with, but that's a completely separate play than just specifically content, obviously. So that's probably like the first thing that a brand should really understand what they want. I think the biggest hurdle that brands face when they go the route of, all right, we need sales and we know that influencers play a meaningful impact on that. How do we generate more of that? Is barrier to entry. The real way there's a lot of obviously influencers out there, and identifying the ones that actually generate sales is obviously a pretty big hurdle. And the ones that are really meaningful and do generate sales are quite often pretty expensive as well, which does create a pretty significant barrier to entry for a lot of brands and sellers. So navigating that, really making informed decisions as to, there's a lot of influencers who charge a pretty substantial fee, but do they actually drive meaningful and impactful sales and reach the consumer audience that I want, I think is probably the biggest hurdle that brands face.
So do you think, as far as influencers are concerned, it makes sense for certain product types and maybe not other product types? I guess I'm trying to sort of tie it into, like PPC advertising. Obviously, this is not going to replace your paid advertising or PPC advertising, but sort of enhance it. And, influencers may or may not work for your specific product type or brand store.
For sure. For sure. I mean, to put it pretty straightforward is what I like to say is anything that would drive an impulse purchase is probably relevant for influencers. Anything that is not really an impulse purchase product is probably not, specifically when it's tied to direct revenue campaigns. So, if you're going more for the brand awareness route, it might make sense to advertise on a mattress, let's just say, because spreading brand awareness, and when the customer is in market to purchase a mattress, they might remember that influencer, that touch point they had with the influencer in that video where the influencer featured the mattress. However, when you're let's just say selling a thing of batteries, if you're a battery company, influencer is probably not going to be super relevant. It's not there. But I like to say any innovative product that will drive an instant purchase generally is a pretty good fit for an influencer. Most of the time, those go along with categories and like beauty, home and kitchen is a pretty big one. Anything tech, obviously, innovative, unique stuff that come along with some sort of story, really are probably the best, specifically when it comes to the influencer world.
So maybe when you're specifically focused on certain parts of your sales funnel, that's when you want to sort of like bring that in if you have that product, then is what it sounds like.
For sure. I mean, for an Amazon seller especially, it's a whole, affiliate in general, I think, is a whole new approach, simply because Amazon sellers have always been focused on targeting customers that have been way farther down the funnel, which is great because it's effective. An Amazon consumer opens their Amazon app pretty much knowing what they want, and then it's just your job as a seller to get your product in front of them ahead of the competition. I think with affiliate, it kind of opens up a new window of opportunity where you can target a consumer way earlier in the purchasing decision. So you can target them when they're scrolling on social media, target them when they're doing a lot more product research off of Amazon, which generally is a little bit earlier in that purchasing journey. Could target them when they're reading a news article, different kind of touch points like that, which I think create a lot of unique opportunities. But you're absolutely right that it doesn't necessarily, I think it applies to a lot more categories than people give credit to, but it doesn't necessarily apply to every single product category, or I should say there's definitely categories where the opportunities are probably larger.
Well, trust must play a huge factor in that. I mean, as you're trying to build up your brand, you're actually paying the influencer because they have built their brand. They have all of those followers, but it really takes a certain amount of trust from the consumer, to sort of believe that influencer. Social selling is so hot right now. Even Amazon has jumped on the bandwagon with Consult a Friend. So I guess if you don't have any friends that you think have good taste, you'll you'll go to that influencer. Do you foresee any, trends sort of coming up in social selling, either both by platform or just kind of tech? What do you see as in the next couple of years is going to be the hot thing for influencer marketing?
Good question. I think I'll break it down in general and then specific to Amazon. In general, I think authenticity is becoming key. Kim Kardashian flying on her private jet with a random drink brand is not exciting anymore for the consumer, but yeah, not exciting anymore for the consumer. But your influencer who has, I don't know, 20,000 followers on TikTok and is really just open about her life and posting really cool content, really in a lot of ways does drive meaningful action, even in terms of just sales, for getting brand awareness again, which is obviously huge in and of itself, but even just meaningful direct action sales. Authentic influencers seem to be I don't think it's new necessarily. I think it's been a little bit of an ongoing trend, but they seem to be the way of the future. And then in terms of Amazon specific trends that we're seeing, a lot of things related to promotions and coupons. And I know this sometimes could get scary for brands, but we've seen just simply A/B testing an influencer with the same exact product, offering some sort of like immediate incentive, like a very aggressive promo code, on-page coupon, subscribe and save coupon, has drastically boosted conversion and numbers for a few reasons. I mean, number one, who doesn't like a good deal? And number two, it kind of creates that limited time, like they need to purchase now, and that's really key with an influencer. We kind of touched on it before, where you need to not only get the consumer's intention, but you need to drive immediate action for it to work.
Yeah.
And a limited time promo code is probably the best way to do that.
Okay, guys, so you heard it here. Authenticity, sense of urgency. What else do you need? You seem really, really passionate about what you do. What drives you? You've been around for a while, you're staying in the business. What is driving you right now with all of that passion?
Ooh, it's a good question. I think creating. I love innovation. I love creating, and I think I'm a little bit of a visionary. So I think we built a really good team to, I guess, keep me grounded in a way and actually put my visions to play. And it's been pretty awesome seeing that happen, and how quickly the company we built has scaled and the team has scaled. And now we're working with over 1,000 sellers within like the first 13 months of the company that we have here. So I think that's really what keeps me going and keeps me so excited about it.
That's awesome. I will tell you that like most of these interviews are founder based, and a lot of the questions that we ask are outside of the actual service that you're performing. You as a co-founder or founder, what sort of ops challenges did you face? Did you have unexpected things come up as you were scaling up your business, and how did you overcome them? Are there things that you like and dislike that you delegate? Tell us about the court, sort of like the actual operating of your business.
Oh, the biggest hurdle for sure has been kind of what the delegation. I think by nature, I'm probably a little bit more of a micromanager, and just being able to kind of let go and build a team that I can trust, not only performs well, they've kind of found that they perform consistently better than me. It's been kind of awesome, and I think initially that was probably our biggest hurdle, and really building systems and automation. I think it's obviously so important to, just at the scale of operation that we want to build and that we're currently running. It's, you can't just invest a lot of time into consistent things over like every day. You really have to figure out how to build that automation and build those systems. It's so important.
Yeah, and putting that sort of time in up front so that you can maintain the quality of service that you're used to providing on a personal level. But when you're scaling up, it's finding that balance, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Joe,
Yeah,
I've talked for
big
like
fans of automation over here. We're big fans of BidX. Yeah, so David, just kind of going back to specifically influencers and getting outside traffic into Amazon. Kind of curious here. So let's assume that I have the right product, the right brand, and the right budget. As far as driving extra traffic to my listing, what is like the best case scenario in terms of time window, the number of influencers I'm using, and in kind of surrounding spaces that are around my target audience? What does that all look like?
Yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit in terms of opportunity. You've seen brands really jump into this and be crazy aggressive in terms, obviously, I mean, the key indicator is number one, how good is your product? And number two, how big is your budget? The programs that we run as a company are 95% completely commission based. So for all our brands, we don't charge any upfront fees, monthly fees. They simply come in to our portal, they set a commission offer, and we just push that commission offer to our network of affiliates. So it's very inconsistent in terms of how a product performs, again, based on those criteria of how good of a fit is the product for the affiliates we're working with, what the price point is, what that promo code they're offering is, different factors like that. But I think sky's the limit for a lot of reasons. And I mean, space is just consistently changing. More influencers and publishers are just becoming aware that such a concept like our program exists, where they can earn such a high commission from the brand. They're used to earning like very, very small commissions from Amazon. And as that increases, the opportunities for sellers increase. I think as sellers realize how impactful and powerful external traffic can be on Amazon, they start investing more time, effort, and the opportunity increases. But overall, I mean, it's a pretty massive opportunity. We've worked with sellers and strong sellers, like really, really $100 million plus sellers that have easily within a few months added 5-10% in revenue, just top level with implementing some sort of external traffic and affiliate program.
And if someone's driving traffic in from an affiliate or an influencer, what amount of time, like let's say it's from like a TikTok or an Instagram influencer, how long is that window of time that people are coming in specifically from that link? Is it like a week, 2, or?
Good question. It really varies by platform and what type of affiliate. So influencer, it's usually, I don't know if this is accurate or not. I don't have like data to back this up, but I would say it's probably a week or so. The interesting play that we work with a lot of shopping recommendation tech, we call it, or even another area would be like SEO focused blogs, where it's not as much of a spike. That it's like, all right, they make a post and then for the next week you see a bump of sales like you do with an influencer and media publisher, but it's much more consistent. They're consistently ranking on top of relevant search terms in the space, or they're giving some sort of shopping recommendations within a browser extension or an in-app search recommendations, whatever it may be, or the sales are maybe not as high, like there's not as much of a spike, but they're consistent across month over month over month, and it's much more you can adjust for it, you can expect it almost. I guess exciting in both angles, but to directly answer your question, it really varies by affiliate.
Interesting. And the last thing I got for you, it from what I understand, Archer Affiliates is a two-sided marketplace, where you're not only helping sellers out, but you're also, making it possible for affiliates to make money. What were the biggest pain points for you with growing a two-sided marketplace, and what did you do that helped? Like, what were your growth hacks for it?
Oh, loaded question. My co-founder is the master at this. We messed it up in every single way when we started. We had no idea how hard it would be, and if we had to do it again, it would change so much. I think the biggest growth hack we've had is just simply, at least on one level, understanding one side of the marketplace really well. I think like our team just understands the sellers' pain points and understands how to speak to sellers, understands the value that we bring to sellers, and understands what they want. I think has been huge for us. I think the biggest thing that we had working in our favor is that the fully performance-based model that we push. So, it's a very attractive offer for sellers where they can sign up for no upfront cost. We never charge monthly fees. And what that means is even if a seller, they're not getting any sales for the first 2, 3, 4 months, our churn has been consistently very low. We don't really lose sellers ever because of that. So even if they get 5 sales 6 months in, it's just still a net add. It doesn't matter to them. And I think that's probably been the biggest hack I don't know if it's a hack, it's just built into our product, but without that, we probably, company probably would have been bankrupt a little while ago. But it's not easy. The two-sided marketplace, it's essentially building the 2 businesses at one time. It's tough.
Yeah, it sounds tough. But I think definitely having that offer of really, I guess, no lose, like there's no like sunk cost going into it. It's all performance based. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, we've never had to battle churn, which has been huge.
Yeah, but you've had to build this, massive network, probably, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's the chicken or the egg also, which is frustrating because you can't get the publishers without the products, and nobody's interested from a products perspective in adding their products until there's publishers. So to just get that wheel started and turning definitely takes a lot.
Yeah, it's just like that organic growth. You'll get there. You just gotta
Yeah.
away. Yeah, it sounds like you're doing amazing though. We only have a little bit more time left, but are there any projects, or do you want to fill us in on what you're working on right now?
Yeah, I think, I mean, the really our focus right now is growing the network as big as possible. That's our, always will be, and is our number one focus. Really, just educating sellers and publishers, but a lot of sellers just on what the opportunity is. Amazon weights external traffic in a heavy way. I mean, it's very impactful and meaningful to overall organic sales, and just direct sales. It's very efficient in terms of spend to revenue, and we are also working on a little bit of a program, I guess, specifically to help brands with product launch in terms of external traffic, which I'm very passionate and excited about. I think it's going to be interesting. Inherently, the concept is that instead of the way our system works now is a seller signs up, they add their product catalog, they're able to set commissions on each of their products. Those products get added to our network, and if a publisher is interested in picking it up, they can generate an attribution link and start promoting the products. What we're doing is kind of created, I guess, the reverse marketplace almost, where publishers are able to list offers for sellers that they can pay upfront for. So like CNN can list a offer where pay us $5,000-$10,000 and we'll feature you in a dedicated article or a dedicated roundup, which I think is going to be really cool for sellers who kind of either they're in their product launch phase or even established sellers who just simply want to get more aggressive and kind of get that wheel turning, get the brand awareness aspect out there, and be aggressive, put budget towards it, which I think is going to be very exciting for us.
That all sounds great. I'm going to finish with one last question. We'll have your website in our show notes. So you guys, if you want more information, make sure you check out David's website. And since our podcast is called Adventure, we always ask, what's the most adventurous thing that you've ever done?
Good question. I would say quitting my job and starting my own company. It's been an adventure. Definitely don't regret it. A lot of fun. But probably the biggest adventure. And nothing too crazy exciting.
I mean, personally, that's pretty crazy and exciting, quitting your job, starting a company. That's a huge leap of faith in yourself. I think one trend that we've seen is just having that confidence, which certainly I think you're going to be forging ahead with great things to come. So we can't wait to see. Really appreciate you joining us. I know this was sort of my first kind of deep dive into influencer marketing. I learned a ton. So please do subscribe, join us for more interviews, thought-provoking interviews, and thank you to David Katz of Archer Affiliates.
Thank you for having me, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.